Hey guys, Michael with Quiet Lawn here. I wanted to do a comparison of the three different versions of the GreenWorks 25-inch mower. We just got in another one right here, the one here in the middle. But I think the first generation was this silver body gray one that we had. Had a lot more issues with transmissions. You know, we've replaced several of these. In fact, we just got this one back from the shop after about 3 or 4 months. And I haven't even had time to put the handle back on and put it back together. But this was the first generation. The second generation, they switched to this green body, and I believe they made a couple of improvements. It seems like the transmission lasted a little bit longer, but we still had transmission failures with this generation. I think the blade motors were supposed to be a little bit stronger, but I didn't notice a difference in cut between this, and both still struggle heavily in thick grass. And we weren't really able to use, either of these during the summer when the grass is really thick. GreenWorks, Ross at GreenWorks was nice enough to finally send me their newest version after all the trouble we've had with the previous mowers that we've been using. And this is the third generation, or maybe fourth, but either way, this is the latest generation, and it is the 82LM25S. 82LM25S. I'm just going to give my initial impressions because I haven't even stuck a battery in it yet, but we'll do a more thorough review once we try this out and see if this is able to actually perform better than the other two, the other two versions we've used. But just look, what I think is an improvement. I think they have a little bit stronger blade motors on this one. And I believe the transmission is improved because that's the biggest weak point that we've had is going out. So I'll just show you around. I'll kind of tell you the differences that I can see just offhand. First thing I notice is that this new version, it's just heavier duty. It's built a little bit better. With these older versions, they just don't, they're very fragile. They shake a lot. There's a lot of movement in these handles. Everything's loose. It just doesn't feel commercial at all. And while, I don't think this is a drastically different machine, it does feel a lot beefier. It feels like it's probably a good 10 pounds heavier, so it feels like the handles feel more solid. It's more heavy duty than the previous ones. I can see they reshaped the handle a bit. The controls feel a little bit tighter. This was a big weak point with the previous ones as well. These boxes were not these controls were not very well put together. The cables would get loose and the self-propel wouldn't engage. The blade wouldn't engage, or there would be a delay. So it feels a little bit more solid with this new one. The controls feel like they're a little bit more well thought out and a little bit tighter. Let's see, in here, the battery compartment looks like it's a little bit better sealed than the previous ones. But that may just be a color change. I was thinking maybe this is a gasket in here, but I think that's going to be the same. Let's look under the machine, see if we can notice any differences. So I'll flip these up on their side. Again, these machines are dual bladed, 25-inch. And I can definitely, just picking that deck up, I can feel it's probably just slightly thicker steel. Feels a little bit more heavier duty. Not that the thickness of the deck was an issue anyways. It was the issue with the transmission and the blade motors themselves not being very strong. The biggest thing I do like about these mowers was the lightweight. They're very easy to maneuver. It's just they can't keep up. They're not durable and they don't last, and two, they can't handle thick grass. But right off the bat, let's look at the transmission from the first generation. You can see that right there. Had a lot of problems with those. The transmission from the second generation looks like the same transmission. but we didn't have fewer issues for whatever reason. Maybe we just got lucky and this one was a good unit. But we did have one transmission go out in the newer units, but mostly they were the older gray models. This one, the newest generation, you can see they definitely changed up the transmission. Looks like it's got a plastic housing now. Before it looked like it was cast aluminum. It looks a lot wider. Yeah, so they've definitely changed the transmission on this third generation. Let me see if I see any other differences that stand out to me on the underside of it. Everything else looks pretty much the same. Yeah, the same. These flaps back here, the grass flaps, you know, they're kind of cheap. You can see they're tearing. A lot of times they'll get sucked up under the mower. Sometimes we'll take them off just because it makes it hard to pull the mower backwards. But you know, I can see definitely, like I said, I see a difference in the transmission. I hope that, you know, that solves one of the big problems with it. And I hope that the stronger blade motors that this one supposedly has will make a difference. Like I said, we'll put them to the test next week. Right now we can't even use these others because the grass in our area, our warm season grasses, is already too thick. And by the time we double cut the areas that these aren't able to cut, it's just much faster for us to use a 21-inch mower that will cut it clean in one pass, as opposed to having to use these things to go back over. So all of the efficiency we gain with the extra 4 inches of cutting width, we lose by having to double cut. But we'll put this one to the test next week and see if it's any different, see if the cut quality is any different, see if it's able to keep up, and we'll post another video and let you guys know. But I did want to show you that we did receive this. I do see a few improvements that I can see, like I said, and seems like the build quality is a little bit better. Do I think this is a whole different machine than the other two? Probably not. You know, they're probably a marginal improvement in quality, you know, and we're going to really be, you know, waiting for that 30-inch, which is supposed to be, you know, a whole different machine. But I'll keep you guys posted. I appreciate you watching and have a great day.